Manchin says Republicans in normal times will be supporting energy, health care bill. This is a CNN story. Democrat Senator Joe Manchin argued Sunday that Republicans would in normal times support an energy and health care bill he recently negotiated with leaders of the party. I think it's a great piece of legislation, and on normal times, my Republican colleagues would have been something such as this. We've basically paid down the debt, which is what they want. We've accelerated permitting, which is what they want, and we've increased production of energy, which is what they want. We've done things that we should be doing together. Manchin also defended a provision in a bill that would impose a 15% minimum tax on certain corporations. These are the bigger corporations out there. And they said taxes won't be going up, but I think it is going up. Schumer-Manchin deal raises taxes on earners under $400,000. The energy and healthcare bill from Manchin and Schumer would raise taxes on millions of Americans earning less than $400,000 annually. Senate Republicans says, citing nonpartisan data, the Congressional Joint Committee on Taxation found that taxes would jump by $16.7 billion on American payers making less than $200,000 in 2023 and raise another $14.1 billion on taxpayers who make between $200,000 to $500,000. During the 10-year window, the average tax rate would go up for most American categories by 2031. New energy credits and subsidies would have people earning less than $400,000 pay as much as two-thirds of the additional tax revenue collected this year. The measure would raise $739 billion over a 10-year span, with much of money coming from a 15% corporate minimum tax rate. Okay, what are your thoughts on this with Manchin?
Well, just goes to show that Joe Manchin controls the United States right now, okay? He shot down Biden's Build Back Better deal, that $2 trillion proposed bill that went nowhere. And him and Chuck Schumer behind closed doors worked this out. So it's basically a skinny down version of the Build Back Better deal. And listen, whether you like it or not, this is a win for the Biden administration, okay? Biden's had a pretty good week, despite having COVID twice in the past 2 weeks. Killed the Osama bin Laden's number 2 guy, Wahiri.
He should get sick and do nothing more often.
Hey, exactly. So, I'm a big fan of Joe Manchin, and what do they say? Killers move in silence, and he's a straight killer. He's the type of person that we need more of in this country, willing to work behind closed doors and put your partisan aside. I've always said this, and I'll say it again. Any Democrat that can consistently get elected in the reddest state in the country, watch what that man is doing. There's some magic to Manchin, and he did it again.
Tom.
I think this is an old school bill. If you read your history, old school Congress used to always ask, how are you going to pay for that? Right? How are you going to pay for that? Because the automatic just flopping over and impaling the national debt with more debt wasn't automatic. They took great care in there, and they took great care about raising the debt ceiling. They weren't so laissez-faire about it, where they debate, threaten to shut down the government for 3 weeks, and then they raise the debt ceiling anyway. This is an old school bill, and he's to pay for these things. We need these things. And, I think the bill was kind of balanced because there's a corporate tax on it, and there's also change to income tax. So he's like, everybody needs to pay for this. And I think that's probably how Schumer, that's probably the tax for everybody is how Manchin agreed to it, because Schumer's not a tax guy. Schumer just wants the program spending that's in it. And Manchin was like, hey, we got to adjust it with taxes so that this thing kind of pays for itself. That's twice. So it's like, that's what I think about it. I think it's an old school bill where they're actually being responsible, PBD,
Vinny,
where they're like, hey, we got some programs over here and people are going to pay for it.
You know what I like?
Tax the wealthy, they taxed everybody, including corporates.
You know what I like about what Brett Burr asked him? He said, well, what are you going to do if they come back and they do this and they do that and they do this? He says, well, let me tell you what I told President Biden about this bill. If you have to keep your word and I have to keep my word, if they do their part and I do my part, everything's going to be fine. But if they don't, I've shown my track record that I'm not going to vote on certain things. So they have to do their part and keep their word. I thought it was pretty impressive that he publicly also put it out there that, hey, you play too much politics. I'm not playing the games when it comes down to these types of policies. Vinny.
Oh, and while you read that, all that kept hitting me is because I'm the under 400,000, I'm under the 200,000, it just keeps going up, right? It's saying it's going to go up, and then it's going to go back. 2023, they're going to raise it another $14 billion, another 10-year window. It's going to go up another. So it's everybody that's under 400,000 is just going to be getting taxed over and over and over and over, right? That's all I'm seeing is that it's not just the rich now. They're going to tax the shit out of everybody.
It's yes, it's a $16.7 billion American taxpayers making less than $200,000 in 2023.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
16.7 billion is money. They're being taxed. There's no question about it. How much?
Very minimal.
But
based
you're
on
gonna
that.
be your taxes went up.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.